we know every superhero and villain has an origin story. What is your cooking origin story?
I feel like my origin story is in three parts, right? Passion, luck, and then a little hard work sprinkled in. So my dad owned restaurants when I was a kid, and he's from Spain, so he owned Spanish restaurants. But reportedly, since I was an infant, I loved watching him cook. So I feel like I really got my passion for food from that and just the way it gathers people together. And even though my mom is not a huge fan of cooking, she always supported me, even when I think I cooked my first Thanksgiving when I was 13.
Oh, wow.
She was like, okay, let's figure it out. So that's sort of the first part of the origin story. And then the second part of the origin story was I was working for a catalog house in the 90s. One of our clients was Charbroiled Grills. And even though I was supposed to be hidden in the back, packing and unpacking product, my dear friend who was the stylist also happened to be vegan. So I would get a lot of phone calls from her about how she was not forming hamburger patties, no matter what. So I would come out and started kind of playing around with food styling and just kept toying with that idea and breaking in here and there, doing some light food styling. And when I went away and lived in North Carolina for a while with my husband, and then when we moved back to California, I branched out into becoming a food stylist and worked my way into making that happen. And then we, lost a major client that we were all working for collectively as a photography unit. And, we were kind of all scrambling around to do things. And to make ends meet, I went back to working retail. And I thought, okay, if I got to go back to retail after 20, 30 years, I'm going to only go where I can talk about food. So I went and worked for Sur La Table for a little while. And I was like, I'm going to talk about food and I'm going to carry my business cards because that's what I'm going to do while I'm here to band-aid this retail situation. And I loved it. It was great to talk about food. It was great to introduce people to cooking and, talk to them about what they wanted to make. It was wonderful. And one day a gentleman walked in and we were trying to pick out a piece of marble for his wife. And she was saying, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a pain, but can you get down like all the marble cake stands? Because I want to look, they're all different. I want to look at them. I'm going to use them for photography. And I was like, oh, you don't have to explain it to me. I understand. I also do food styling and I totally get it. And he, at the end of the transaction, said, I work for a publishing company that does a lot of cookbooks and we don't really know how to find a food stylist. Do you have a business card?
Amazing.
Yes, I do. And so that is how I got hooked up with Insight Editions.